viewers, welcome back to another league race. This time it's the final round of FTRL this season. It is Silverstone, which we were supposed to do much earlier than this. So, dry quali, dry race. So that's where we stand. I decided that I was open to starting on some mediums, maybe going long. If a safety car or a VST came out, then boom, we'd be in a really good position because of how long the pit lane is here. But ultimately, I could do like a 24.6, 7 if everything went well. I think my PB was a high 24.6. So, but I ultimately was going to do just 2 runs to keep myself a fresh set of softs just in case, just for, not shits and giggles, yeah. So just tweaking the setup here. I actually realized that pressure should be the other way because the left tire is the one that's taking the most brunt because it's a clockwise circuit. Anyways, did not get the first run hooked up. So the second run, this is towards the end of quali, I fueled myself up for 2 runs. A very disappointing 25.3, and I was very disappointed by that. I thought there was more than that. So I had enough fuel, so I went lean. I went for one more run. This is that run now, so 1.4 amps of fuel. It's going to be tight. So already down heading into turn 1, but keeping it nice and flat as you can. Already decently hooked up. Could have maybe got on the throttle a bit sooner because I was in 4th. Slow myself down through Aintree and the loop. Cut the beam. DRS open. So Sway at this stage said he's going to give me a slip on the back straight. And I was like, no, don't have to do that. Very much trying to concentrate. I lost a bit of time heading into Brooklands. So I'm just trying to concentrate as much as I can, not even thinking about the fact that Sway is going to attempt to give me a tow. Again, this was not planned in any way, shape or fashion. So decent cops, gained a bit of time, not as much time as I would have wanted to have gained, but the big gain here is going to be made through Beckett's and Chapel. Much better hooked up through the exit of Beckett's. You see all the time we're gaining now. Sway's going to give us a bit of a tow. Nothing massive, but enough nevertheless to give me a couple of hundredths. Decent stow. Exit of stow was actually quite good. So now this is looking like a much better lap this time. Through Vale and Club. And again, more time to find. Going to be up by 7, just under 7 tenths at 24.6. That is my PB around Silverstone. And it's actually going to be P8 with City Posh having a penalty, and then Sway was hoping to be knocked out of the top 10 there, and I helped him along with that. Unknowingly, I had no idea, so he's going to start on mediums. So I was on 9th, but honestly, the penalty for that isn't as bad at this circuit because, again, you want the soft to medium is a strategy you want to do. It's not like Bahrain, like last week, for example. So lap 9 or so, we'll put on the mediums to the end of the race. Put the wing up to 29 laps of fuel. And yeah, let's get going. I had no idea what to expect. I was honestly just hoping to avoid spinning and penalties. So let's see what we can do then. 5 red lights. And away we go. Initial pull away is quite good. The back end's going to step out a little bit then, but no pressure from behind. So I'm going to be able to take this preferred outside line. See the narrowness of that turn 1 leaves Panda at risk. And I'm going to be in a nice space to break into. So I'm going to go there. Aaron gets a bit out of shape. I almost hit into the back of him, which compromises me somewhat. But a decent run here. As you go through the loop, ERS and Rich. So we're going to get thrown by Panda side by side with Aaron as well. So I wasn't expecting this. My heart was absolutely racing at this stage. It was absolutely mad. Sloop by side by Aaron, you can see leaving the space. And he's on the inside. I'm hoping to get on the throttle a bit earlier, but I just run out of road and have to concede that position. So Aaron's going to stay in 6th. And critically, he's behind Zumpy. And that ended up being a big factor in this race. Now, Zumpy was on the pace here, to be fair. Bit of a lift through turn 1. You need to lift through not turn 1, Cops. You need to lift through there for a good chunk of this race, really. And it's so important. You're going to see this throughout the race. It's so important to hook this section of the track up, because if you don't, you're going to be very, very vulnerable. You're going to see how you kind of get that right as well. But a successful lap 1, we made up a position then. I was actually worried I was going to fall away into the clutches of the guys on mediums. We actually, out of DRS here, to be fair. So now, now could come the worry stage, DRS is very important around here. And, so how do you minimize the effects of not having it? Well, a good exit here is really key. I use overtake and I use rich. Launch myself off of that corner, and that should give you enough. I've got plenty of space here now that even with DRS, Panda is not going to be able to be a threat, even though I've not got DRS. So eventually the squabbling here allowed them to allowed me to get back within DRS, but not quite yet. Again, a good launch, overtake rich off the beginning of that off of Beckett's, and it's enough to keep me ahead. So that's really important. But like I said, back within DRS then, as they're squabbling, Zumpy and Aaron squabbling in front has allowed me to catch up a bit. And again, I'm still in 7th, Panda behind, Posh behind, Sway behind, Dan behind. So we're looking in a good little spot here. Lap 8, again, a good run. Like, honestly, hooking up that inside curb on Beckett's is so important. I didn't realize how important it was until this kind of the practice session beforehand. Thankfully, I consulted my map because I was going to go for a pit stop, but saw on my map my teammate had actually pitted already. So even though the message came up then just before the pit lane, I thankfully saw the map. Panda then goes to the undercut then behind, and one lap later we are in now as well, almost hitting to the back of Zumpy. We really maximised the entry. That was really big. Honestly, I think that gained me a bit of time. Honestly, you're going to see when we come out of the pits here what the gap is. I think that was huge. I think that really did. It may have saved me the position against Panda, because here we go then on exit. Where we go. Zumpy is going to go straight into Aaron. There he is. Boom. And we're actually decent bit clear of Panda, to be fair. So the undercut did not work for him. And I really think a lot of that was due to my entry into the pit lane. It was the maximum. I just about slowed down in time. You can see the time I made up on Zumpy as well. And that, heading into the pits, I was hit into the back of him. So, that's what we're talking about. Finest of margins. And I'm still ahead of Posh and still ahead of Panda, who obviously Posh pitted that lap. Lap 11, again, hooking up that inside line. So I've got no DRS here, but again, really good exit onto this hanger straight. And again, I can get off of Rich and ERS quite early once you have that. So important. So that was key. But the margins were so fine this race, as I'm going to get... look at that. Didn't get a penalty for that, but margin is so fine. I didn't get the best run onto this hanger straight this time, and it's going to cost me this time. So Rich overtake. I need to save ERS at this stage now, so I've had to concede this position to Panda. You see, it's actually got quite dark, but you can see you have to take the limits of those track limits every single time. And I had to, because car behind, was right there. See, Posh was right there. Panda was right there for a lot of it. I can't afford to lose DRS to the cars in front. If I drop out of touch, then that's it. I'm just going to fall backwards again. We're in threat of falling backwards here, as Posh was thinking about a move, but we kept the position going defensive this time around. So I had to be on. Honestly, this may not be tense watching it, but it was so intense driving it, because I needed every single bit of this. Every single bit. Again, look at this. I need as much as I can to these exits. There's cars behind, there's cars in front. It's so tight at this part of the track. Every lap, the pressure was on to nail every single important exit of that Maggots Beckett's Chapel complex. Yeah. So important. But in the end, I'm going to get punished for taking too much liberties with it. There is a penalty. I think that's my first of the season. Yeah, honestly, though, I need it, though. I absolutely needed it. Sway is actually pitted from behind, and he's on soft. So... but he's running 3.5 wings, and that really hurt him in the end. If he had running 2.5, he would have got past me. Again, exit's so critical. You can see what it does. I mean, in that DRS, a bit of Rich, bit of overtake, and again, Sway isn't able to get a good run. If he'd gotten a good run, I would have let him go. Here comes Cliffy, and I expected Cliffy to go by here. I was like, Cliffy, if you're going to go by, go by. Didn't have enough straight line speed. He's running 2.7 wings in the end. So got on the limit of the track limits there. You can see the absolute chaos in front. I almost hit into the back of Panda. So you can see the pressure. There's all these cars in front, all these cars behind. It's so intense. So the pressure to nail every apex was on. So it was such a nerve-wracking race. It was exhilarating, though. Absolutely exhilarating. But Cliffy is going to get the run, and he's going to go down the inside. He's going to go for the lunge, and comes across the bit I was more annoyed at. He came across into my line a bit there, and I was honestly not upset, but I was more afraid of that ruining me to the cars behind than him actually getting by. Because look, he's on softs, he's going to get by. So, but thankfully, I was able to just lose that one position, and we were okay. But look at this nonsense, and not nonsense, but look at this chaos, absolute chaos. There's 4 cars right there.
Oh god!
I'm right behind it. I'm like,
now
surely something's going to pop off here, and I'm going to end up into this carnage. Somehow they all managed to get through. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars all in such close proximity. Honestly, it was absolutely exhilarating. Like, it was nerve-wracking, exhilarating. It was such an amazing race because it was just so intense. Because any mistake you made, boom, you lost all those positions. But the opportunity to gain in front was huge as well. So, such a fine balance. But it was honestly such a thrilling race. Lap 23. You can see Cliffy's now cleared the pack. City Posh again, he's close. But again, it's that run, it's that rich and overtake off of that loop. And, you know, you get yourself such a great chance. Now, at this stage, I know multiple people have penalties. City Posh did not have a penalty. And then I find out he does have a penalty. And the other AlphaTauri, Aaron Taylor, goes round. I think he had a collision with Cliffy. So now, eventually, one of the pennies dropped from this group of cars. Because it had to at some stage, isn't it? So anyways... Lap 25, hang on to lap 26. I'm actually out of DRS range here, and this is bad. This is really, really bad because I've got 1 pen. Posh has 1 pen. This is for legit position. Again, a good run. Again, rich overtake. Excellent run out of that complex, and that's given me enough breathing space that Posh is going to send one down the inside. Like, I'm on the limits of, you know, ERS, but I just need one more lap. And the squabbling in front here of Zumpy and Panda is going to allow me to get back within DRS by the end of this next lap. And here we go, the last lap. Then I got a bit on the gravel there, actually, on the outside of that turn, of the straight rather, not even the turn. Go defensive. I have to defend that. I had to defend that. Posh would have definitely gone for that move. And he's on the inside there. I have to leave him space. I leave him too much space, but I would have got away with it. But the car just snaps a bit there, and I had to go off the throttle just in case. And that was what cost me. I'm going to try and go for this move. He tries to cover the space. I go down the inside. Move is not done. It's such tight margins. He's on the outside. He's going to get that move done. Honestly, and a little bit comes a little bit cross there, but I lose the back end of myself. I have a big moment there, and the position is gone. I was like, damn. Disappointing to lose that battle because Posh had been behind me for all of this race, and I think if I had had that little snap there, I think I could have maybe gained enough momentum to stay in front. At this stage now, he's just gone. I've got no ERS to fight. Now I'm trying to keep Sway behind now at this stage. Very much trying to keep this on this position. Scuba wins the race, an absolutely dominant display. Absolute dominant. So fair play to him. There goes Zumpy. Yes. Zumpy is round. So that's a position we can gain then. Now, look, he had penalties in the end, but in my mind, I counted that as, look, position lost, position gained. So, cross the line, it's going to be P7 in the end. And do you know what? I'll take that. It was such an exhilarating race.
That's the most disappointed I've been in a very long time.
Yeah, honestly, I was so happy to gain positions. I think just to be competitive, you know, to be in the crowd, you know, not just race on my own and, you know, have to hope for a safety car or penalties or something. I was there in the thick of it for such a long time in the race, competitive. And that's what I was, I think, most happy with, to be able to do that and have it obviously a race where I was on the pace and, you know, competitive and racing cars throughout the entirety of the race. There is the final standings, 159 points. I'm going to finish 6th. Just a few more behind Wesker then, who wasn't at this race. So, honestly, that was the maximum I could do. Honestly, it's been a season that's, you know, that has surpassed all expectations of what I thought was possible. So I can be really proud of this season and performances I put in, despite the pace difference. I thought the pace got better as the season went on, but just a thrilling season, and so happy to be a part of it. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Constructors, Racing Point missed out then on 7 points in the end. So fair play to Williams. That was Scuba and Wesker for the majority of that season. So yeah, I never expected us to be contenders. I never expected myself to be that high. So, you know, that was all I could do, really. So I overachieved by far and didn't get 12-0'd by my teammates. So that's, honestly, I can only look back on this season as one of my most fond seasons in terms of performance, in terms of racing that I've had for a long while. So, yeah, really happy with that. Season 2 is going to be great as well. Really looking forward to that. Calendar's out, teammates are out, So yeah, looking forward to that. But that is going to do it for this round and this season of FTRL. It was honestly just a great season. It was just a thrill to be a part of, and the community I've got to chat with and know a bit better as the season's gone on, and it's just a top bunch. So I couldn't ask to be in a better spot than this. So anyways, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching this season. Looking forward to the next one, and until next time.